Go out now for the next.
Speak up.
Okay, listen. I haven't started yet, so don't worry. Right, well, welcome everybody. It's beholden on me as father of the bride to say a few words. It's a very, very emotional day. Even the cake's in tears. Just before we start, just want to remember that at the top table, in particular, there's some people that should have been here today that are not. Some that have been taken from us recent times, and some are coping with the hardest of personal misfortune. But they must remember that they all know that despite their absence, they are in our thoughts, and are not far behind the top of our thoughts. But one thing we must remember is they will not begrudge us enjoying ourselves here today. And we know that's the case because we've known them and we've loved them. And what we must do in their honour is to make sure we appreciate every healthy second we had in this wonderful earth that we live in. One opportunity, and it is fleeting. And also, before I start, I've got something else to say before I start. A bit of a confession I have to make. I want to get it off my chest today. In the lead into Christmas a few months ago, a colleague at work, a woman colleague, said she wanted to give me a present. She said she wanted to give me a guitar. So I said, okay, no strings. It's okay, I use it strong. It's okay, we're getting to the start now. As an engineer, I like the structure, so I'm going to split the talk into three parts. Very grown, very worse. Three's not big enough. Past, present and future. And after much deliberation, I'm going to do it in that order. I know I'm conventional. I'm not always conventional, but today I'm going to be conventional. Past, present and future. So, I think back to November 1988. Now that wasn't when Gemma was born. It was the month that Abby was born. And what I think back is that in November 1988, as I brought, or Jackie, we both brought Abby back into the house when she was a tiny little thing, and we'd had 2 years of bringing up Gemma. And I thought, here we go again, another 2 years of strife, because bringing up it is hard work. But it was hard work for the next 2 years with Gemma and Abby, but it's ultimately rewarding, and I feel myself, as I've said to many people already, I feel blessed to be the father of 2 wonderful daughters. I'm just getting early, just in case it does happen, I'm onto it. Gemma and Abby. Gemma and Andrew. You see the inspiration. You see, but I'm onto it, and I'm hoping it won't ever happen. And I'm not going to touch on the Sarah and Mel issue. That is for another day. So, as father of the bride today, it's beholden on me mainly to talk about Gemma. A few weeks ago, Jackie asked me what Gemma-related anecdotes I was going to impart today, and I didn't tell her. Jackie wanted to get one in, and I think it's actually one that I'd forgotten, so I'll get that one in first. Jackie reminded me of the way that the method she used to get Gemma to give up her dummy. Those of you that have children, that is one of the things that comes when a child gets to a certain age. The dummy is useful, but it has to go at some point. And apparently the only way we could get Gemma to give up her dummy was the promise of a Thomas the Tank Engine calculator. I probably shouldn't remember how old Gemma was at the time. But I don't think 14 was too young. My first recollection, one of my first recollections I'm going to give today is Gemma's first term at Oakfield Junior School in Fetcham. The first term, new entrance to school, one of the teachers organised a competition for the entry year, which Gemma won. And I think that was a portent of things to come. I can't remember now what the theme of the competition was about. I think it could have been a solution for Fermat's theorem. I do remember that she hadn't been at school long when she and I had a discussion about the correct use of the apostrophe, which made me realise then that she was going to be someone who likes to get things right. You'll never see Gemma put an apostrophe in a possessive hitch. She duly moved through infants onto the Howard Attingham Senior School, and I remember attending the awards evening at the end of the first year to see Gemma receive Head of the Year Shield. Of course, she didn't win any more in subsequent years because she was barred from consideration. And she worked through her years at Howard. She came to the age of 16 when traditionally set her GCSEs. And of course, as a grandfather, I can tell you she took 13 GCSEs, passed 13 at grade A. But unfortunately, only 11 were stars at grade A. One of the subjects that she didn't get a star in, I was rather miffed, and I did think of appealing to the board because I knew how good that work was, and I got a feeling that the examiners just thought it was too good for a 16-year-old to produce. So I think that's probably one of the reasons why she didn't get one of those last 2 stars on her own. One thing about being a father of daughters, because looking back, I was spared one of the duties of a parent that when the day comes when they want to know what we usually call the facts of life. To be honest, I don't know if Jackie did probably not. I think probably Gemma researched it herself. But interesting enough, I just want to tell you a story actually that I heard from a friend of mine quite recently, who is the father of a son. And his son came today when his son asked his dad, where did I come from? And so my friend tells me that he steeled himself and went for it, achieving what he thought was the right balance of biology and morality. But as he finished, there was a quite quizzical look on his young son's face. As he said, "Oh, Dad," he said, "my friend Tommy says he comes from Liverpool." The lesson there, of course, is to make sure before you answer, you absolutely understand the question. I don't really get the impression that Gemma's child was all books and study. She did get out and about. I think she achieved silver in the Duke of Edinburgh. And she would always take the place in the field when Abby and I wanted to play cricket. So, fair play to her. I've just got one story further story to talk about Gemma's school days. I remember once the teachers invited parents to school after class to hear the presentations the children made from a recent field trip. And Jackie and I, to show our support to the school and to Gemma, of course, turned up that afternoon. And after hearing several children people giving their presentation, the teacher said, "Right, announce that it's time for Gemma's turn, Gemma Collett." And in unison, there was a loud groan that came from the rest of the class. And that's not because they despised Gemma. They knew that hers was going to be the best, and of course it was. But that, to is the real measure of Gemma's character. She's been lucky enough to inherit a good set of genes.
And she's quite good at, not only been top of her class, but honestly top of the year every year, honestly, I think. But she's not been, she hasn't earned any animosity from her peers. She's managed to do that in a way that everyone can understand and to remain friends. And I think all her friends admire her, and you've got to give her credit for that. And she not only has the technical ability to understand quite difficult concepts, but she has that flair for creativity as well, that any graphic designer would be proud of. So I've talked about exams and awards that Gemma's met in her school career. But of course, there was one significant, the most significant part of her school career, of course, was meeting a certain nasty card. Looking back, it seems to me that Andrew Carr rather crept into my life. I don't mean that in a creepy way. It's an interesting use of English, isn't it, that you can creep in a non-creepy way. And in his early days, I never found him overtly communicative. But that was not important, because he was obviously achieving a high level of communication with Gemma. And I feel like I have got to know him rather better in the recent years, and I'm looking forward to that trend continuing. Moving on to more recent times, most of you will know that quite recently Gemma qualified as an actuary, a fellow at the Institute of Actuaries, no less. She is also a member of the Chartered Enterprise. She's also a Chartered Enterprise Risk Actuary. In fact, she now has so many letters after her name that PwC had to organise a folding business card. A lot of people, probably the majority of people, don't really know what an actuary is. Now, you might think that tonight you have the perfect opportunity to find out, but no, don't ask Gemma. Her description is hopeless. But I think that it's been a requirement of all trainee actuaries that they are trained and sign a pledge not to describe their profession, but to obfuscate the profession of actuary. But of course, I am also sure that we must understand that actuaries are very important to society. 2 or 3 times more important than engineers, it seems. Right, that's the end of the past. Just to go. How am I doing for time? Right, let's talk about the present, which shouldn't take very long. How long does the present last? Right, the fact we are here today in these marvellous surroundings and the smooth running of this event so far, I think that we've already been told is largely down to just Gemma's organisational skills, but as I say, as other people acknowledge, she has had help from Jackie, from Abby, from the other members of the bridesmaids group today, and other friends who have been with her the last couple of days. So well done to those, but I don't know how much Andrew had to do to organise it today. But yeah, again, just the mere fact we're here and it's gone so far, and of course the staff of Clendon here, I'm sure they played the part as well. But it's gone pretty well so far, and hopefully it'll go well for the rest of the day. And also, of course, with a day like today, I have to think about my own marriage. And it's a very open secret, I think, that in our opinion at least, Jackie would agree with me that Jackie and my marriage is just about as successful as marriage can be. Marriage isn't for everybody, but it certainly suited myself and Jackie. I remember back in 1982, Ray here gave his father of the bride speech, and he did make a reference to marriage being a gamble. And in my reply, I did pick him up that saying that I wasn't a gambling man, but I understood there's only one bet to make, and that is on a cert. And I felt I was betting on a cert in 1982, and I think I proved right. Of course, it does help being a cricketer. Anything Jackie throws at me, I can catch it. I'm sure Andrew has already developed his own way of dealing with Gemma's unreasonable behaviour.
of course, it makes me think, what does a father want for his daughter? What sort of husband does he want for his daughter? Even though we know we have absolutely no say. Well, because me, firstly, I don't want a husband who follows the dog and the walnut tree approach.
Huh?
You don't know that one?
No.
A dog, a walnut tree, a woman, a dog and a walnut tree, the better you beat them, the better they be. So, I can't believe no one knows that. Is someone reading books? I don't read books. Of course, it used to be the case that a father would worry about his son-in-law providing a roof over his daughter's head and putting food on her table. But of course, we live in much more enlightened times these days. And any boy-girl relationship, whether it's by formal marriage or not, should all be about partnership, about a fully equal partnership. I certainly back this notion. I certainly think it applies to Jackie and myself. Some of you think that Jackie might make all the decisions in my marriage. That's just not true. Equal partnership. I mean, how would Jackie reach the bars on the top shelf of the kitchen cupboard without